All right. All right. Let's see. Gotta play with the microphone a little bit. We've had a little bit of problems in the previous few weeks with like breathing noises coming through on the microphone. But we got the Monkey Warlock game. Game that will never end. Let's see how this one went. So the medic died, but he did save his other medic by knocking the warrior down from here to here, because this is now out of reach for me. So this seems pretty bad. But the nice thing is that the shield on my warrior took enough health off of him for me to be able to one-shot him with an Axar. And I don't think he can save the soldier. I do not think he can save the soldier. So now, I mean, I don't even know what the heck is going to happen. This is the move that I need to do. So I'm just going to submit it. There's no point in thinking about it anymore, but I don't know. This is like the game that will never end. Like every time I think I'm totally dead, I'm not quite totally dead. I'm like pretty close to being dead. But now it's like on the razor's edge. If I can trade one of my units for that medic somehow. But I mean, there's just like so like little. There's no way to like surprise him with anything. So I can't imagine that he would make a mistake that would allow me to do that. But he's only have one soldier left, so if I can kill the soldier, then he's like not going to have any units left either. I don't even know what the heck's going on. We'll find out what he makes of this. I've played a good game, no matter what happens. That is Broak. Yep. Here goes my archer. My valiant archer. Oops, what the heck? Well, if he has a shaman, that he should bring him out, because. All right, what's my death here? Interesting. So, if you don't know who Trip is basically the best Hero Academy player ever. Let me pull up something. Give me a moment to. All right. This is the leaderboard for all-time players, and you can see the top three: Trip, me, and Monkey Warlock are all like neck and neck at the top. Now Trip hasn't played in a while. He's been inactive for the last year or so. But I decided to send him a challenge just to see if he wanted to play some fun games. And he said yes. So we've already played one. I was very fortunate to get a win with Tribe against his Team Fortress. And now we are having a rematch, which is my Team Fortress against his Dwarves. And he has, I don't know. I feel like he's been kicking my rear end, but it's hard to say exactly how this one's going to end up. Like, I feel like I've kind of backed him into a corner a little bit, so we'll see. I still have both Giratis left, and I killed a upgraded unit. He's got a lot of low health guys. He's burned a lot of offense, so he doesn't have any drills left, but he's killed one of my medics. But I have both respawn tokens. But he's got like a full +3 set left. He's got two full +3 sets. Now obviously I have Giratis, and he's burned a beer. So I don't even know what the heck's going on. But we'll try that. We'll see what happens. I have like nothing left though. I've got like no units left. It's gonna be really bad if I lose this Pyro. Alright. Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom. Holy draw, Batman. That is a sick draw. Holy smokes. Alright, well, it's party time. Heavy metal time. Hey, the heavy metal. Got that medic there. I'll get him on the board pretty soon. Stick my engineer here. Respawn token to boot. Holy smokes, it's Christmas. It's Christmas for Team Fortress. Alright, it's Team Fortress against Dwarves Day, apparently. Because that's what the randoms has chosen. And that is what you'll get. Spies are actually not that great on this map because they take splash damage if you attack the crystals. That's kind of annoying. But it's part of life, I suppose. It's a nice aggressive opening there for me. Saying you better do something about the crystals. I like that. Ew, yucky. Yucky. Very few units. Alright, well I hope these guys are still around. I think in the future I'm going to do some commentaries offline. And then just do the games online because everybody tunes in to play. So I will keep that in mind going forward. But always room to improve the format and stuff. Been experimenting a bunch, trying to find out what works the best for everybody. Let's see. Still got the Shaolin tournament games going on. One of them could be over pretty soon. I think it will be wrapped up very soon. One way or the other. The other one is going to go a while longer. They've both been very good games. If you haven't checked out the video commentaries that I made on the first halves of both of those games, just check them out on YouTube. They're high quality and high quality games, at least. Maybe I'm not sure about the commentary, but but it's worth checking out if you're interested in the Shaolin versus Shaolin matchup. Streets of Rage 2. Well, doesn't seem like there's much going on right now. Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah. No, not like that. Something like that, maybe? I think I should go all the way up there. Worried about this gunner getting like scrolled and then using the crystals to like kill a bunch of dudes. That is what I fear. Really love to get either like an engineer or a medic coming out, because this is getting a little scary here. A lot of good offensive units, but here's a medic. That's a good thing. Let's see. Okay. So Dr. Doom wants me to go over Team Fortress 2. So I think that's a valid request. So let's look at it. So Team Fortress 2, flexible mobile team with 9 imbalanced heroes. I mean, 9 distinct heroes. Distinct heroes, not imbalanced. Distinct, flexible mobile team with 9 imbalanced heroes. What? Imbalanced? What? Imbalanced? So yeah. Team Fortress 2, aka Team Imba. I'm trying to chat, but apparently the keyboard wasn't working. Alright, so Team Fortress 2. They got a bunch of units and they don't got any items. But they are Imba. Let's go through why they are so Imba. So they are very AP efficient. Whenever they stomp a unit, they get an extra AP. So basically, whenever they stomp something, they can retreat for free, or they can attack another unit. And that's a really, really big deal. They have a lot of units. All of them have unique abilities, but they don't have a bunch of items, and they don't really have many upgrades for their units. In fact, there's only really one upgrade possibility. But let's go through the units in detail. So, Scout. The Scout has 650 HP, and you get your AP back when you deploy him. So normally when you place something on the deploy tile, it uses a move, but for the Scout, it's free. Whenever he gets hit, he moves back a square, so he's like, it's kind of like getting hit by a knight, except just whenever he takes damage, he decides to retreat away from the unit that hit him. He can move 4 squares, and he doesn't really do any damage. But basically, he's the stomper. His job is to stomp the enemy units. You keep him kind of near the front lines. Like, he's not really that valuable. He doesn't do much damage. He can't really attack, but he can run in behind enemy lines and take out units that you have killed. And then if you want to leave him there to be suicided while you retreat your powerful units, that's a good use for him. Another thing that's nice is if you don't have a good hand, but you have some scouts, you can deploy them at the end of the turn basically as a free card turn, because it doesn't cost any AP to deploy him. You can put them on the map for free if you have a open tile, and you're looking to turn a card. I get another turn, so let me play this turn before I keep going on some of the other units. Let's see. So I'm pretending like I'm threatening Crystal Kill, but really... Really, I'm just trying to buy time until I get a freaking engineer. I don't know, that medic link. It's questionable. Oh, I like that. That shows promise. Yeah, maybe move him up there. I'm like begging to get blown up by the demo man. Not the demo man, by the grenadier, but he's not really in position. Yeah, this could work out. Not sure about this scout though. Seems a little questionable, but I don't think he can really attack into this too well. We'll see. Ooh, snipers. Sniper's good too. Love putting that sniper on this attack tile. It's like my favorite thing to do. Snipers are so underrated. Like, a lot of players don't think snipers are good, but I think they are really, really, really good. Okay. What do I have left? Yeah, I had to use a meat to kill a +0 wizard. I'm inclined to let him have it. What the heck is this remix? I don't want to put that cleric there. What the heck is this song? What the heck? Anyway, that was interesting. Okay. I think I just want to swap one of these helms. Boy, lovely. Wait for one more turn. see what he does, and then I'll go back over some more Team Fortress stuff. What do we have next? Get the soldier next. Oh, that's aggressive. I can actually kill that. Yep. I'm gonna do that. See? That's why Team Fortress is Imba. Because I can kill this Grenadier, and then I can say, sup, I'm out of there, and I'm safe. It's Imba. It's imbalanced. It's not cool. Not cool. So that was the soldier in action. So I said I was going to talk about the soldier next. So that's a good example of what the soldier can do. He's 800 HP like every single other freaking Team Fortress unit. He's got 300 magical attack, which is pretty strong. Range 3, movement 2. And he knocks enemy units back unless he is in melee range of them. Very important distinction there. So if you get next to the unit, like what I did there. Oops, I need to reload this game. Sorry. Oh, never mind. Obviously, he can't knock back an enemy unit if the unit has like something behind it. But the knockback, hopefully I'll get to show you next turn. The knockback happens at range 3, but not at range 1. So if I shoot this paladin with the soldier right here, this paladin would get knocked back to this square. But if I moved here with my soldier and then attack this paladin, it wouldn't get knocked back. So that's one of the little subtleties with a soldier. The knockback can be, it's kind of situational. Usually it's kind of annoying though, because he's powerful, but he's also like knocking the units you're trying to kill like away from you. And sometimes that can make it take more AP to kill the unit than it would with another unit. But that's really the soldier. He is kind of a standard damage dealing unit. Not really that much special about him. Kind of very average, to be perfectly honest. But he does 300 damage base, so that's nice. Now the Pyro. The Pyro does full damage to enemies in a row. Attack can hit cloaked units. Now let me emphasize that second part, because I didn't realize this until recently. I know basically all the rules by this point for all the units, but I had a game where I kind of got caught off guard. Before I get back on that point, I need to figure out what I'm going to do here. So the one nice thing about this map is the Demo Man, attacking from this square, actually can hit both crystals. That would open up my medic to getting reamed. So I think I might just try and kill this paladin and see if he has anything. Yeah, if I can get this Paladin. He might not have another. And that'd be pretty sick to take out a Paladin this early. So that was the knockback. So let me show the soldiers. So I knocked the Paladin back. But fortunately, because this gunner's here blocking that tile, can't knock it back any further. But if I go here, there's no knockback. So that's something to keep in mind. Depending on the situation, it might be better to get in range next to the unit. Yeah, let's roll the dice a little bit and see if he's got another Paladin to save there. I might be able to get another unit out of it too. Chipping away at my crystal. It's so rude. So rude. So much spike shield too. What do I have left? A bunch of scrolls. None of which happen to be in my hand, of course. Trolley Knight. We'll leave that knight there, and maybe something like that. Because pretty soon I want to be obnoxious with these knights. Okay. So the Pyro. So the Pyro does full damage to 2 enemies in a row. So for example, if the Pyro was here, and this Paladin was still alive, it would do full damage to both of these units, the Gunner and the Paladin. So that's awesome, because it, or actually this, like if the Pyro was on this square here, it would do full damage both to this crystal and to the Annihilator. So so that's like a pretty awesome feature of the Pyro. He punishes opponents for keeping their units close together and clumped up. And that'll work really well in conjunction with the Spy, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But the Pyro is one of the main damage-dealing units of the Team Fortress Arsenal, and he's one of the more valuable ones. So you should. That's annoying. Did you have any more Paladins? So that's good. I just got a Paladin for free. Gonna try and turn this into a crystal kill. I don't know how evil I'm feeling. Do something like this. I hate freaking Annihilators. Hate. Unfortunately, I can't quite kill this one. I don't care about that scout, though. Kind of begging to get my Spy and Pyro snipe there, though, if I do that. So this is one of the nice things that you can exploit on this map, is that if they put their unit on the attack tile, your demo man can hit all these crystals. But, I don't know. Yeah, I think this is okay, because if he tries to punish me... then I can actually kill this Annihilator. Yeah. Definitely. So if he tries to go and kill this demo man, then this Pyro can run up and potentially kill the Annihilator. And by the way, I'm also doing a bunch of damage to these crystals. and he doesn't have a heal on the board, so I'm like threatening both of these amped up units. And the idea is you want to save the Geratis for the upgraded units, but you only have 2 Geratis, and Doros can have like 3 stacked units. So if I can get like either one of these units, especially the Annihilator, without using a Gerati, then I'm going to be in super, super, super good shape. I love Demo Man on this map. They're so strong. Yeah, this is already like starting to get out of control a little bit. Like if he didn't draw a Paladin last turn, he's going to lose one of these units. Like I just don't see any way that he's going to be able to hang on to either of these guys. Or and also kill like the Demo Man. Like I just don't think it's going to happen. Uh-oh. Yeah, spending a wave and a and a meat to get a unupgraded knight. God, I would kill for a scroll. Holy smokes, would I kill for a scroll? I might just have to like retreat. It's actually okay. Let's see. 2 Tataways and a meat. And no more swords. No more swords. Right, so if I kill this... Hold on. No, I need to go the other way. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. So close. Alright, yeah, I'm going to play this defensively. And I'll threaten his shaman next turn. Well, I'm not sure how I want to do this with explaining some of the Team Fortress stuff. It's like hard to get through the units with all the turns coming in. There's like just like not quite enough downtime between each move. So one thing about the Pyro is, you know, the Spy. I haven't talked about him yet, but I'll mention him now. He's a cloaked unit. He's not targetable at range. So you have to be in melee range to directly attack this guy, to be 1 square away. So like either here, well, for this guy here, but for this Spy, like here, here, or here, in order to attack him. Except if you're the Pyro. So if you're a Team Fortress player playing another Team Fortress player, then the Pyros are good at killing spies. So that's like a little known fact, because it's very situational, but it's something that once in a blue moon will come up. Yeah, so the Pyro is like probably one of the best offensive units the Team Fortress has, and you want to you want to make good use of them offensively, and hopefully I'll do a good job of that in this game. So the Demo Man. So the Demo Man is kind of like the Grenadier for dwarves. Demo Man, in fact, he's literally identical to the Demo Man. Oh, sorry, the Demo Man is literally identical to the Grenadier, except that he does bonus damage to crystals. It's not that much bonus damage. I'm not sure exactly what the modifier is, but his specialty is taking out crystals. But he does 200 damage directly to the target, and then 100 to everybody around the target that he hit. But yeah, he's like the Grenadier, so good at killing crystals, decent damage unit. Definitely one of the stronger units again for Team Fortress, because he can do damage to a lot of units with not much AP. Kind of like what I did here in this game. The Heavy, okay. So the Heavy is the only Team Fortress unit to have more than 800 HP. The Heavy has 1100 HP. And I don't have any on the board in this game right now. But I think I do against Dr. Doom. Yep. So the Heavy has... he starts out with 100 attack. The interesting thing with the Heavy is for every consecutive AP you spend attacking with him, he powers up by 50 damage. So the first attack does 100, or now that he's got the engineer upgrade, is 130. And so the next attack, so if I were to like walk forward to this square here and attack this gunner, the Heavy would do 130 damage on the first attack, 180 damage on the next attack, 230 on the next attack, and 280 on the fourth attack. Okay, so each consecutive AP you spend attacking, it's gonna continue to. The trick is, like, yeah, he starts at kind of a low base damage, like 130 damage is kind of a pittance, right? But if you get in melee range, so if you like move up here, he actually does double damage in melee range. So if I move in this square and then I attack the gunner, it'd be 260, 360, 460. So up close, he's really, really powerful, and he's got a lot of HP. But the Heavy is really, really good on power boost tiles, because if you up his base attack a lot, like if he gets on this power boost tile, he's going to have 260 attack. Then his first attack does 260, his next attack does 310, next attack does 360. So you can see, like, if you're starting from a higher number, all the attacks are going to start getting really, really crazy, really, really fast. So the Heavy is a very, very powerful unit, good at controlling space. And by the way, he also does splash damage. And the splash damage calculation is kind of weird, but I would think of it like the splash damage of a gunner, but at range 3. But there's some weird quirks to it. Basically, let me see if I can draw. Drawing might be helpful in this, because there's some really weird quirks. Alright, got this whiteboard overlay. Press F1 to hide. I right click on it. I need to lock it in place. Lock position. Cool. How do I make this bigger? There's a way to make this bigger. I'm making it bigger. Awesome. All right, cool. Now we're drawing. So let's say that your opponent has units like this. And my Heavy is positioned here. If the Heavy attacks this unit, both this guy and this guy will get hit. But if you do something weird, like this, and then he attacks this guy, only this guy gets hit. These guys, this guy here and this guy here, won't get hit. Additionally, let me think of the formation here. Yeah. So, see this formation here? Heavy's still here. And you attack here, this guy. What do you think would happen? Like this guy, the bottom guy, this guy, and this guy would get hit. But actually, all four of these guys will get hit. Strangely enough. So there's like some weird calculations on the way that he does damage. Additionally, here's a crazy one as well. So, oops. So yeah, so this guy is like at the edge of his range. And if the heavy attacks him, believe it or not, if you have a guy here, this guy will take damage as well. So both of them will take damage. Even though this guy is 4 squares away, the heavy will still hit him. And that's really, really useful on this map. Because if you put a heavy on this attack tile, and then you attack this crystal, the unit on this square will also be hit. And it comes into play more than you think. And heavies on attack tiles are godly. So that is a little tidbit that you may be able to exploit in your own matches. It's very situational, but that particular formation, you can sneak shots at the unit behind that crystal from very far away. And it's very, very powerful. So that's the heavy. The engineer. The engineer does upgrades. That's his reason for existence. So this is the engineer. Very standard stats. And basically what his job is to give the ammo upgrade. So you see this little ammo thing there. Give the ammo upgrade to your units. And what the ammo upgrade does is it increases their base damage by 30%. Now, obviously, you can only do it once per unit. So it's not like you can't have like 2 ammo upgrades on the same unit. You can only do it once. But this heavy started out at 100 physical damage, and now he's upgraded, so he's got that ammo on him. And so now he does 130. Again, it's 30%, so units with a higher base damage benefit more. So the Pyro goes up to 390 when he's upgraded. And any 200 attack units would go up to 260. The effectiveness of this upgrade depends on the matchup. Some matchups benefit more from the engineer upgrade, or certain units benefit from it more in certain matchups than others. For example, we talked about the spies in Tribe, against Tribe earlier. The spies really benefit from the engineer upgrade against Tribe, but against who wouldn't it benefit against? Spies would basically benefit pretty much every matchup. But like also like pyros and soldiers benefit a ton against Shaolin because the poisoners have 650 HP. And if you upgrade a pyro or a soldier, it goes up to 390, and that is actually enough to 2-shot any poisoner unless it has both a shield and a helm. And 2 AP to kill a unit as good as the poisoner is like super good, and that's kind of one of the major contributions to why Team Fortress is so imba. But the engineer is very important. It's very important to always keep one alive. This is not a unit you want to be suiciding around. It's one you want to deploy and leave him on the back lines and just have him sit there and upgrade things that pop out of the deploy tiles, depending on what unit it is. Now, one of the things with Team Fortress is you only get 2 of every unit. Most of the other squads work in a way that you get 3 of every unit and then 1 super unit for the most part. But Team Fortress, you basically get 2 of every unit. So so you've got a lot less of each unit, but you got more variety. So the medic. Now the medic is the most important unit of Team Fortress. The absolute most important unit. You only get 2, and they're your healer. So with Team Fortress, you only get 2 healers. That's 1 less than every other squad. Every other squad gets 3. Team Fortress gets 2. And that means that it's absolutely critical that you do not let your medics die. Because if you let your medics die, you only got 2, and you'll be out of healing before you know it. And then as soon as you don't have healing, it's hard to play a long game. Like, you basically have to go all out attack. So the medic is complicated. It has 200 HP. No, that is false. It's 200 damage, does not have 200 HP. It would be very difficult to keep your medics alive if you had 200 HP. They have 800 HP, and they have 200 damage, and they heal for 400, and they revive for 100. When they're upgraded, they heal for 520, and they revive for 130. So it's not like the most insane healing, but their real power is in their link ability. Now the medics have the ability to link up to any other Team Fortress unit and increase that unit's base attack by 50%. But it can only be linked to 1 unit at a time, and establishing the link costs an AP. Additionally, the unit that is linked to the medic cannot move more than 3 squares away from the medic, or the link will break. Additionally, the medic cannot take any damage while the link is established. Otherwise, the link will break. Additionally, the unit that is linked to the medic must be at full HP before the link can be established. Otherwise, the medic will just heal that unit. So there's a lot of asterisks onto that ability. It's kind of complicated, but you're increasing the damage by 50%, and that is a lot. Consider having a link to an upgraded pyro. 390 base damage times 1.5 is, don't do math on stream, 585 damage. 585 damage per shot when an upgraded pyro is linked to a medic. That is a crap load of damage. So link is super good, but obviously you can't let your medic get hit, otherwise the link breaks. The unit has to be at full HP. Oh, one more asterisk I even forgot about. That the medic that is linked to a unit can only heal the linked unit. Otherwise, the link breaks. If the medic heals another unit that is not linked to that medic, then any link that the medic has is broken. So as long as the linked unit takes damage, you can heal it up, no problem. But if something else takes damage, then you're going to have to break your link in order to heal that other unit up. So you're kind of like committed to that unit in a sense that you're linked to. So yeah, that is the medic. But the link is very powerful. Another thing about the link is that you can actually have 2 units linked to the same unit. So you can have 2 medics both linked to the same unit. And yeah, I mean, the range restrictions become pretty restrictive because if you're linked to like 2 medics, you can't get more than 3 squares away from either of them in order to maintain the link. So you can't really move around that much. But 2 links on a soldier that is upgraded will make the soldier do like 875 damage per shot, which is basically enough to one-shot pretty much every unit, every like non-special unit in the game. So the link ability is a way to make one unit at a time super scary and super powerful. And it's really the best way to kill powerful enemy units. But in order to use the link, you've got to keep your medics alive, and you only got 2. Snipers. Okay. Snipers are fun. Snipers have 650 HP, so they're kind of squishy. They can hit... They have 1 range, so they can attack a unit directly adjacent to it in any direction. And they have unlimited range horizontally. So they can fire all the way across the board. So if I have a sniper here, I can hit a unit on this square. And you may be thinking, wow, Elagatua, that is broken. That is freaking ridiculous. Who the heck thought of something that stupid? Robot Entertainment must have been drinking something amazing when they came up with a unit that broken. But the good news is that it only does 100 damage per shot. So it's a little bit puny. But before you go off blowing it off entirely, if the sniper is on the board and does not take damage for a turn, and does not move, or has not been moved, has not taken damage and has not moved during the opponent's turn, the next turn for the Team Fortress player, that sniper will get 250 extra damage on its first shot. And you may be like, well, okay, but it's only 250 extra damage, so it's like 350 damage, but it's only on 1 shot, so it still can't really kill anything, right? Because, you know, even if it shoots all 5 shots at somebody, it's only like 750 damage, and that's not even enough to kill a single unit. And you're right, but there's certain situations where snipers become really powerful. One is when you upgrade them. They go up to 380 damage on that first shot. And if you link to them with your medics, they go up to 195 base damage, plus 250 is, don't do math on stream, something like 445, I think. Something like that. Anyway, and then all of a sudden, you're talking about 3-shotting an 800 HP unit from all the way across the map with a linked, upgraded sniper. So that is not something to shake. I don't know, some idiom. That's not something that you can take lightly. Additionally, if you put them on attack tiles, especially on this map, this is my favorite map to put the snipers on the attack tile. But also on this map, Monkey Warlock exploited this against me pretty badly, where he put a sniper on this power boost tile and increases the base damage to 200, or if they're upgraded, 260, or if they're linked and upgraded, 390. And then you have a 390 damage unit, not even including the bonus 250 on the first shot, shooting anybody in this tile, or anybody in this row. And that is just crazy. So, and that's not even the best uses of them. When they're combined with the item called the Girardi debuffs a unit, which multiplies the damage done to that unit by 2.75. So if you take that base damage of 350 for the first shot and you multiply it by 2.75, it does 960 damage for an unbuffed sniper if Girardi is on the enemy unit. So you basically can't leave any upgraded unit in the row with the sniper unless you want to get Girardi sniped. And that's a very common tactic, the Girardi snipe, where you basically put a Girardi on a unit, and then that's in line with a sniper, and then you'll snipe it, and then you use a scout, because the scout can move long distances, to run up and stomp it, and then run back, and basically you can take powerful units off the board from a very long distance with that combination. And with that, let's see what Trip did. Awesome. So I got his Annihilator. No, I can't do that because he could scroll. He could potentially scroll kill the medic. But if he did that, no, I wouldn't be able to kill the paladin. The paladin would go here. Nope, can't do that. Oh yeah, and I'm canceling the. Yeah, I'm canceling the beer too. That's pretty sick. I like that move. I like that move. He's got a lot of units left, and I don't have that many units left. I got respawn tokens, though, but I'm out of pyros. And that sucks. But maybe I can get a paladin or something. Another heavy left. I don't know. I mean, I've got both Giradis. That's nice, but I like... It's going to be hard to, like, deal the blow. But hey, I got rid of a beer. I KO the paladin, get rid of a beer, take the Annihilator. It's pretty sick. I want to optimize that move a bit, though. I can do damage to the crystal if I use the Demo Man instead of the medic. That's perfect. Poor Trip. In this game, he had like the worst opening draw I've ever seen. Like he dropped he got 2 paladins and an engineer, and then he got like nothing for like the next 2 turns. He ended up burning 5 swaps, which is just ridiculous. I'm not sure I would have played it that way if I were him. I might have tried to play it a little differently, but it's hard to know. I don't know exactly what was in his hand, but it must have been just like a disaster. Because he had 5 swaps, like a full turn. He ended up getting a full turn behind because of that. Okay, so now that I've played that turn, let's talk about the Spy. Spy is really, really important. Is one of the best units because he is not targetable at range. So that means a unit has to be in melee damage or melee range in order to actually attack the Spy. Here's the Spy. So he's basically really, really hard to kill. Additionally, he only does 200 damage, so whatever. But if he attacks from behind the unit, so if he backstabs the unit, his damage gets multiplied by 4. Yeah, that's right. 4. 4x damage from behind. So that's 800. And if he's upgraded, that's 260 times 4, which is 800 plus 240, which is 1040 damage. That's basically enough to kill anything. So, unless you have like a shield on a unit, or it's like a heavy or something like that, you know, something with like really high HP. If a spy gets behind a unit, it can basically one-shot it, and then it can stomp it, and it'll get a free AP, and then it'll walk away, and you have to be in freaking melee range to kill the darn thing. So he's just really, really hard to kill. So the spy is really, really good. It forces the opponent to make sure that he's always blocking the tile behind his units, because otherwise the spy is going to run in and like one shot, you know, whatever unit is available for the taking. So that's the spy. Now, here's the combination that's scary. The spy forces units to clump up, because you have to keep units in the square behind your units so that the spy can't run in and backstab you. But the pyro punishes you for clumping up your units, because if your units are next to each other, then the pyro does full damage to both of them. And this is one of the reasons why Team Fortress is so good. The Team Fortress has ways to punish you for clumping up, and the Team Fortress has ways to punish you for being spread apart. So you have to strike a balance, dealing with these dual threats of the spy and the pyro, keeping yourself protected when the spy is threatening you, and keeping yourself protected when the pyro is threatening you, and crying yourself to sleep when they're both threatening you. And if you're playing as Team Fortress, you want to use them in conjunction to make your opponent's lives miserable. You want to have both your spy and your pyro close to each other, so that these units are forced to stay together, so that the spy doesn't do damage, and they're forced to stay together so that the pyro does dominating damage. And that's one of the premier combos of Team Fortress. Now, really quickly, let's go through the other units. Sorry, not the other units, the other items. So Jarate, we already mentioned this a little bit. Jarate multiplies the damage of the next attack on that unit by 2.75. So you need to save it for powerful units. Like any like +3 units, like +2 sorted units is like borderline. Ideally +3, but +2 is acceptable as well to use a Jarate on. And by +2 I mean they have 2 upgrades, so like a helm and a shield, or a sword and a helm, something like that. Keep in mind though that against Shaolin, the Taoists are able to debuff the Jarate if you leave the Jarate. If you use the Jarate and you have not attacked the unit you put it on at the end of the turn, the Shaolin can just get rid of it. So against the Shaolin, you need to make sure that if you're going to use the Jarate on a unit, you need to kill it the same turn that you use the Jarate. Otherwise, you're likely to waste it, and it's a very important item. So it's a very, very bad thing if you end up wasting it. The Sandwich. The Sandwich is an item that separates the great players from the average players, because the Sandwich seems not really that useful. Like, it heals an ally for 500 health, so it doesn't even like heal him for that much, and it adds 2 range to the next movement. But it requires an AP to set up to use anyway. So it's like it's not like you're adding movement in the same turn. Like, you're still able to move the same amount of places. So it doesn't seem that useful at the start, but it's actually really, really, really powerful. But you just have to know how to use it correctly. The way you want to use sandwiches is you want to move an important or a powerful unit, such as the soldier, the pyro, or the spy, or maybe the heavy, But definitely the Spy and definitely the Pyro are your two best choices. You want to move it to a tile that it will be a little bit threatening, but also not really like that far forward. So like the third column is like a good place to have it. And then you want to put the sandwich on the Pyro or the Spy, and then you don't want to move that unit this turn. Because then, the next turn, it's like you're saving an AP for the future. The next turn, you'll be able to move 4 moves with that unit in one move. So you're saving an AP. So it's almost like you've got 6 AP instead of 5. And with that extra AP, suddenly that Spy can get to that extra unit. Like if I put a sandwich on the Spy here, the next turn I could go 1, 2, 3. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I'm messing this up totally. I'm very sorry. The Spy could go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, stomp, which is a free AP, and then moves back a tile. And sometimes that extra AP is the difference between killing and stomping a powerful unit of your opponent and not stomping it, and just having it be healed and then killing your unit on the next turn. So you use it to set up a powerful move on the next turn. And in order to do that, you need to make sure that when you put the sandwich on the unit is in a threatening position but also a safe position. Because if you put the sandwich there, that unit cannot move. Like the next move will use the sandwich. So it can't like reposition itself after the sandwich is in play. So it needs to be safe enough where the opponent can't just like run in and kill it and then you've wasted your item. But it needs to be forward enough that extra 2 squares is going to get you in a position where you can do threatening damage. Monkey Warlock made really good use of his sandwiches in some of the previous weeks. So if you're interested in digging up some of those old VODs, you can look at that to see some really good sandwich use. And he was able to threaten me really well by using those. Lastly, the respawn token. The respawn token saves a KO'd unit and brings it back into your deck. So any unit that the opponent does not stomp that is KO'd of yours, you spend a respawn token and he returns to your hand. You only get 2, but it's basically a free unit, more or less. And it doesn't cost any AP to spend either. So you can save your units. Now, the biggest thing you want to save these for is your medics, because you only have 2 medics, but if the opponent doesn't have enough AP to stomp your medics, then the respawn tokens turn that into 4 medics. And that is substantially more formidable than just 2 medics. So you don't want to spend your respawn tokens on weak units. You want to spend them on powerful units, like your medics, like your spies, like your pyros maybe. But really, spies and medics and maybe pyros and pretty much nothing else. Maybe demo men if you're going for a crystal kill, something like that. But really, that's what you should be using your respawn tokens on. Super important not to waste them. They're very important. It's almost always a good idea to leave 1. Like you can use the first one more carelessly than the second one, but having that second one is really important to keep there as a threat, because without it, if your opponent doesn't stomp your units, then you have to heal them. You don't have any other recourse to threaten. In Hero Academy, the threats are often more dangerous than the implementation. And Team Fortress is a team of threats. The way now that you have gone through all the units, it's a lot to learn. There's a lot of different units. There's a lot of subtlety to all the units, so it takes a while to kind of get all the specifics down. But the general rule for how you want to play Team Fortress is you want to establish so many threats on the board that your opponent cannot make a move without accidentally stumbling into one of the threats. In this game against Ratakit Jew, I think that's correct, and I apologize if I butchered that. But in this game, this is a great example of a Team Fortress squad creating a bunch of threats on the board and forcing the dwarves to find a way to stay safe against all of them. Let's take a look at this board. We've got the spy on the defensive tile that can kill any unit pretty much in one shot that does not have a square behind it. Like, so for example, this gunner is very exposed because this tile right here, if I attack the gunner with the spy from this tile, it's going to die. I've got the demo man. It's threatening the crystals and doing damage to all these units here. I've got the soldier that's in range of all these units here. I've got the pyro, which is going to threaten both this crystal and this annihilator. And I've got these Gerardis as well that he's got to worry about later on. So there's 4 units that I've got here that aren't even like that far forward. Like, none of them are on his side of the map. And these 2 are pretty far advanced. Like, these are in the middle tile, so it's an aggressive position for sure. But all these units are on my side of the map, more or less. And he has to think and worry about every single one and what each one of these can do to his army. And protect against every single one. And protecting against 4 threats simultaneously is very hard. It's very easy to forget about one. And that's where Team Fortress becomes strong. You keep adding threats onto the board because you have so many units, and eventually your opponent's going to slip up. And you're going to be able to do critical damage because they didn't account for a possibility, or you pulled something out that they weren't expecting, or you had like a sick medic linked unit that just like blew them up, or you added sandwiches to a pyro back here and he just couldn't defend against everything, or he left a unit exposed to a spy. And it only takes a few mistakes to totally turn a game around. So that's how you want to think about playing Team Fortress. Now, this was only an introduction to Team Fortress tonight. I hadn't really planned on doing a strategy discussion about them, but Dr. Doom asked for it, so I was happy to oblige him. I think next week I will go specifically into each matchup and talk about how you want to think about playing Team Fortress against each individual squad, similar to how I did with Dark Elves, similar with how I did the other 2 squads that I've gone over, and give you specific tips about what units are the most important against which squads, and how you want to, or what kind of strategies and what kind of mentality you want to have when you're playing against each individual squad. So look forward to that next week. Be going over that. I think next week I'll be holding it to just live games. I'll do the commentary stuff at the beginning offline, because I think everybody just wants to play games, so that's totally cool. And I can still put the commentary stuff on YouTube, even if I don't necessarily stream it. But yeah, things seem to die down tonight, and that's fine. We got a late start because my internet crapped out at the beginning, so things were a little bit thrown together tonight, but we made a good stream out of it anyway. So thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in, and thanks for watching if you're on YouTube. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at Elagatua if you want to get announcements about Hero Academy, if you want to ask me any questions, you want to send me screenshots asking me about like what you think you should do on a particular game. And if you're interested in finding really good opponents to play against, or you really want to up your game, check out the link at the bottom. Robot Entertainment Fans, Tabby Nat runs that website, as well as Art and Jay, and they run a league, and it's a great way to find skilled opponents and just opponents of your skill level as well, so that you can play against people who are good and learn things as well, and see yourself improve if you are interested in getting better at the game. And so with that, I will leave you with this final move from Trip, and we'll kind of see what he came up with here. Okay, so he's sorted the gunner. I might Girardi him. If I can kill one of these units without Girardi, I can just jar the last 2 offensive units. He's only got 3 attacking units left. So that's kind of cool. I think I want to do it like this. I want to threaten to link to this demo man. Oh, let me show you the link. I've been talking about it all night. Might as well. Can totally do this. Suicidal medic! I only have 1 left. That would be like the worst move in the history of bad moves. And now he's got 300 magic damage for Demo Man, which is pretty freaking scary. But that's a threat for next turn, not this turn. I'm going to put threats on the board. As many threats on the board as I can. Pyro, Medic Link Spy, Girardi's, Sniper on this, locking down this, this row here. Lots of threats on the board. All right. Good, yeah, I've been waiting for that second sniper. All right, and with that, I will sign off for the evening. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.